Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to hitch up the car. So we're leaving the campsite.
Whoops, I didn't start at the start. You actually have to pull up the stabilizers and close the roof before you start hitching up the trailer.
The second step is going to be to raise the tongue of the trailer, and you got to make sure you raise it, well above the hitch so you don't have any issues when you're backing it up the rest of the way. And I think we're about right now. Okay, so I'm going to back the car up. Lauren, you can tell me when to stop, okay?
Stop. It turned off.
You're good. It's okay. Just touch the screen. Okay. So now I'm letting it down. You'll notice that it looks like it may be a little bit too far forward, but I may have to just go back a titch more, but usually the trailer will kind of pull itself onto the car. And so you'll notice that it is actually, see how the hitch came up there? And I can see that the ball is completely inside of the coupler. So now I'm just going to lock it. And so connect the safety chains. They always have to be crossed. So the one from the right gets connected to the left. The one from this side gets connected on this side. So it creates a little sort of place. If the trailer were to come unhitched, it basically catches the tongue of the trailer. That's the idea anyway. That's the theory. Okay. So we also have, this is the runaway switch. So basically if the trailer were to come unhitched, this thing gets pulled out and the brakes on the trailer lock up and the trailer will stop. So an important safety feature for sure. Gonna pop that on. And of course we've got our pin for the coupler. Gonna put that in. And now my car is a little bit different in that this is not mounted. My hitch sits so low to the ground that it just wouldn't be practical to have this guy mounted on the hitch. So we just do it this way. Okay. So I like to put it in here. I may have to adjust that in a sec. Just to keep it out of all of the hitch mechanisms and chains and all the rest of it. Okay, plug in the power. And just come up real close, Lauren. Right. So you'll see, and whether it's mounted on your car, you have one that's sort of loose like mine. The door on your 7-pin connector, it has a little tab, and that tab has to be on this side of the black rubber stopper thing. So if it's like this, whoops. Okay, let's just get this thing out of the equation for now. If it's like this, okay, it's not connected. It's got to be like so. All right. And we'll get the coupler back in there. There we go. Okay, so that's it. Next we're going to do the weight distribution bars. The first step to the weight distribution bars is I need to raise this thing back up again. And the reason that I'm raising it up is basically that takes the tension off the bars. It makes them a lot easier and safer to put on and take off. So I'm going to do about maybe 15 turns. So I'm raising it a fair bit. You'll notice the car is coming up too. Okay. We use this bar to put the weight distribution bars on. Now if you've raised it high enough, you don't actually need the bar, but I'll have it just in case. Okay, so come right in close, Lauren. So I'm going to pull the pin out for the weight distribution, place it there, and just drop this thing down. Okay, and I'm going to grab the bar, and very important, the Reese has to be up. So we don't install it this way, we install it this way. and basically it just goes inside of there, come right up close. So into that hole right there, and then it tips in. You'll notice for it to work, I've got to be right up against the tongue jack. And then it just goes like that. Okay. And so I'm gonna go 2 links hanging down. Okay. And it just connects, come right in close, just connects on this thing at the bottom. Now, see, because I have it raised it so high, I didn't even need to use the bar. So we're in there. I don't like the way this chain is sitting though, so I'm gonna just, there we go. It's loose. Don't want it binding in there. And then the pin just goes back in. Okay, so this one I've already got the pin out. I'll show it to you again though. Okay, so the pin will be in like that. Always leave the pins in when you're not using the bars, just so you don't lose them. And I just pull that out, put it there, bring this guy down, grab my bar. Okay, and again, the Reese label is up. So I'm going to place it into the hole like so, right up against the tongue jack, and then it goes in. And again, I'm leaving 2 hanging. Just connect it there. You also want to make sure that you haven't twisted the chain too much, so it may not be perfectly straight, but this is just like a tiny little twist. And you can see it's a little tighter on this side for some reason. Usually depends on which angle the car is connected to the trailer. So I'm gonna have to use the bar. There we go. That's loose, so it's not binding. Put the pin in. And we're almost done. So we're gonna keep this because this can be handy sometimes. Here. So now we're going to drop the trailer all the way basically. Okay, and you notice now, come over here, the weight is off, so now I can just really easily turn this thing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to whack the little round piece off with this bar. So there we go. And now I'm gonna raise this all the way. So I'm just gonna keep spinning it until it stops. There we go. All right. So now we're just going to double check everything to make sure everything is good. We've got a good electrical connection. We've got the chains, and the chains are crossed. They're both connected. We've got this brake line, and actually the brake line, just come right over here. Okay, I'm going to also put that inside of here, just so that it doesn't get caught up in any of the weight distribution mechanism. Okay, electrical is connected. All 3 of the chains and the breakaway switch are connected. My coupler is locked. Okay, so everything looks good. My jack is up all the way. Grab my blocks out of there. Now, only at this point, can I remove the wheel chocks. Okay. So because as soon as you're raising it, you know, it gets the potential to want to go downhill a little bit more, and you know, so you want to keep those wheels chocked so the trailer doesn't roll away from you. When we first got the trailer, it actually did happen to us once. Thankfully, we were in a relatively flat site, so it just rolled a foot or 2. But you can imagine if you're on any kind of a hill, the trailer could literally just get away from you. So definitely, this is the first thing you do once you've leveled side to side when you get into a campsite, is you chock the wheels, and it's the last thing you do before you drive away is unchock the wheels. On both sides. The emergency brake is set on the car too. And we can throw these in the storage. And you'll notice we have one piece of wood that we use to level, so we'll have to grab that too. Just, you gotta pull a few feet away though before we can grab that guy. And when Lila will be outside getting the piece of wood, and when she's doing that, we'll also check the turn signals, the emergency flashers, the brake lights, and make sure that all of that stuff is working before we pull away. If it's not, it just means you need to rejig the connection between the trailer and the car to make sure that it's connected properly. So, follow these steps and you'll be safe and ready to go down the road. Goodbye, Savo Falls. On to Bruce Peninsula National Park.